today I will be doing an analysis on Wells Fargo. So the brief history of Wells Fargo is that Wells Fargo was found in 1852 by these two gentlemen, Henry Wells and William J. Fargo. And they met each other in New York City, and both of them were drawn to California due to the 1848 California Gold Rush, where gold was found in California. So it attracted Henry Wells and William J. Fargo to pack up their things and go to California, San Francisco, and base Wells Fargo in San Francisco, California, where they started a banking service and express service, which is rapid delivery of goods, anything else that is valuable. And with Express is that today, American Express is the express that William and Henry found along with Wells Fargo. And with this, Wells Fargo was established in a dynamic environment due to its fast growth, and also because they had their customers' trust, and that was the main thing that put Wells Fargo on the map of the banking service industry. Wells Fargo is the 10th largest bank in the world. It is the 4th largest bank in the United States of America. And Wells Fargo's top 3 competitors are JP Morgan Chase Bank, Bank of America, and Citigroup. But those 3 banking services isn't stopping Wells Fargo from being a superpower. 9,000 stores and 12,000 ATMs are spread across the whole entire United States of America in all 50 states. Wells Fargo has more stores and services in communities than any other U.S. bank. Over 22 million customers actively bank with Wells Fargo online, and over 10 million customers actively bank with Wells Fargo via mobile. Now, with the company's mission, their main goal is to keep Wells Fargo having a positive image along with increasing their revenue. Now, in the next slide, we will go over the 4 top values that Wells Fargo include to make sure that the company stay balanced. So the 4 values, these top 2 values are people as a competitive advantage, that's 1. Ethics, that's 2. And with people as a competitive advantage, they encourage well-being and celebrate success. They want you to share your best practices and embrace new ideas all together. Ethics, they want to take accountability for whatever they do within the organization of Wells Fargo. With other 2 values, we have diversity, inclusion, and leadership. Diversity and inclusion, 25% of the director nominees in 2017 were racially diverse or racially ambiguous, and 33% of director nominees in 2017 were women. The leadership, proactively seek and give and apply feedback, and also engage in courageous conversations. And since Wells Fargo is an organizational culture, they believe in these values because these values help attract the customers that they have now. And when they attract customers, they increase their revenue. Fargo present to their customers, they have the savings accounts and the CDs, the credit cards, debit cards, prepaid cards, etc. Wells Fargo has community banking services like credit cards, bank accounts, debit cards, account management, loans, etc. While the economy customers avail services such as credit cards, bank accounts, loans, the higher income segment look at services such as wealth, brokerage, and retirement service. Going over the SWOT analysis for Wells Fargo. First, we're going to start on the strengths. Like I said in the previous slides before, with the organizational culture, which Wells Fargo based their goals off their beliefs and values, with their strengths, Wells Fargo is centered around 4 core values, which are the basis for everything that financial services company does. The three key segments are personal, commercial, small industries. These are their strengths. For personal, the list of services include banking, loans and credit, insurance, investing, retirement, wealth management, etc. For commercial, it's the assets, credit facilities, merchant services, online banking services, round-the-clock customer service, etc. Small industries such as banking, loans and credits, merchant service, insurance, payroll, and other services. This is the strength of Wells Fargo, and this is what we're keeping it at the top. For the weaknesses, Wells Fargo was accused of classism back in 2016, and it had to do with some of the employees discriminating against those who come from or who came from a lower income compared to those who came from a higher income. And also another weakness of theirs is over the years, Wells Fargo expansion has caused the company to pay for operations in numerous financial domains. And also with the customer departmentalization, weakness, it doesn't allow Wells Fargo to be in a positive light, because with the customer departmentalization, certain employees supposed to help with certain customers of all backgrounds, no matter if they're from the higher income or lower income. And for the accusation of some of the employees in Wells Fargo being classes, have Wells Fargo in a negative light with that. So that is one of their major weaknesses. The company has expanded to smaller areas, which can branch out into different demographic of customers, like different cultures, race, etc. And here in this picture, you can see Wells Fargo is mainly in North America, some countries in South America, one country in Africa, several countries in Europe, and several countries in Asia. So you can see that Wells Fargo opportunities is branched out across seas. Wells Fargo can expand their business outside of American market, look into the Asian markets, particularly China and India. Due to their population and economic growth over the past decade, this will be a great opportunity for Wells Fargo. The threats. Wells Fargo was in an internal environment in the year 2016 because the CEO at the time, John Stumpf, employees allegedly created fake accounts and fake transactions for the customers, resulting in Wells Fargo announcing they will have to pay $185 million to the city of Los Angeles and the federal regulators due to violating the FLSA, and that is the Fair Labor Standard Act. Within 5 years, the market of Wells Fargo decreased because of that. And the reason because of that, because the customers couldn't trust Wells Fargo anymore. Due to this, the CEO at the time, John Stumpf, stepped down, and due to his high power in Wells Fargo, he had to take out some of his money from out of his paycheck to pay for the damages. With Wells Fargo violating the Fair Labor Standard Act, Wells Fargo also violated the SEC, which is the Security and Exchange Commission, which is an individual or independently federal government agent that prevents fraud and deception. Wells Fargo also violated the SEC, which is the State Corporation Commission. The definition of the State Corporation Commission is quite similar to the Security and Exchange Commissions, but not so much. The State Corporation Commission definition is it applies to laws of customers, businesses, and the citizens to not be violated. This is a chart of Wells Fargo, and you can see from the years of January 2013 to February 2018. The scandal happened in January 2016. So as you can see, it was constant. Then what happened? It decreased because of the scandal, and because Wells Fargo lost its trust with its customers, and that is what Wells Fargo was most known for, was being honest and truthful with their customers. So for the scandal to happen, it caused Wells Fargo to go down. You see the revenue, total asset, cash on hand, long-term debt, shareholder equity. You can see that this isn't so bad. It's actually constant, and this is a year over year for the quarter ending of September 30th, 2019. As you can see, Wells Fargo picked back up, some of their customers, some of their revenue, but they haven't gotten over that particular incident, which could be called a media advocacy due to the negative controversy that the bank service incorporated due to the scandal. And also, on the next slide, in order for Wells Fargo to overcome their hurdle that they had to take ethical responsibility about the scandal. The previous CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Tim Sloan, had to step down from his position because the company wouldn't take accountability for why the employees did what they did. And for Wells Fargo to be a decentralized company, which means the lower managers have more rights and more say-so and on what should be the goal and how should the company function. Instead, the lower managers and employees were blamed. So they have to take accountability for that. They have to do refreezing and unfreeze. They have to support and reinforce those changes and make it stick. And for the unfreeze, they have to help those that were affected. They need team practices in each department. Their leadership needs to be a directive leadership. And with directive leaderships, it may be a tad bit strict, but with directive leaderships, research has shown that with directive leaderships, the company revenues and interest increases. And for Wells Fargo to gain the trust back within their customers, they need to repair their company reputation. They need to do more community affairs, such as, the wildfires. They need to invest in the wildfires, Their community affairs is only 17%. 17%, that's how much they put in with doing community affairs. If they want their customers back and for their revenue to increase, they have to put in effort. The effort that I seen that they put in was they donated $350,000 last year, January 2018, to Clemson diversity programs. If they want their reputation back, they have to put in more effort for community affairs. Wells Fargo had ups and downs with their company, and the main thing that attracted people to Wells Fargo was their trust. So in order for Wells Fargo to gain their trust back, they need to put in as much work and effort that Henry Wells and William J. Fargo did when they first established this bank, and they need to apply the same goals. They need to come up with a grand strategy and then apply a growth strategy to make sure the company stay afloat and where the revenue don't decrease, their cash on hands don't decrease, their cost of goods don't decrease. So that's my presentation today.